What's up, guys, and welcome back to our celebrity spotlight. And today is Tay Thursdays, guys, and it's going to be Taylor Swift and, of course, my girl Taylor Watson, Tay Money. So we're going to get started with Taylor Swift. And Taylor Swift, first thing is, she received a doctorate for NYU. Right, she received an honorary doctorate of fine arts degree from New York University on Wednesday morning and gave a commencement speech to the 2022 graduates, where she touched on cancel culture. All right, so basically, Taylor Swift, there's a part here where she said this was the first time that she actually wore a cap and gown. She actually finished high school homeschooling. And she said, you have to learn to live alongside cringe. Swift said to a laughing stadium, no matter how hard you try to avoid being cringe, you will look back at your life and cringe retrospectively. She also went on to some of her cringe moments, referencing past outfit choices she made and ex-boyfriends she had. Life can be heavy, especially if you try to carry it all at once, she said. Sorry, guys. I felt that. You can't carry all things, all grudges, all updates on your ex. Decide what is yours to hold and let the rest go. Swift concluded her speech with recalling from a very young age she was told that if she wasn't the perfect example to young children across America, she would be thrown into pop star jail, and that is known today as cancel culture. She said it was all centered around the idea that mistakes equal failure and ultimately the loss of any chance to be happy or rewarding life. She said, "This has not been my experience." Swift went on to say the mistakes she's made has been the best things in her life, and getting canceled on the internet is nearly losing my career gave me excellent knowledge on all types of wine, she said, making light of cancel culture. Shout out to Taylor Swift. T Swizzle. Now, the things that Taylor Swift accomplished this week, and for all the Taylor Swift fans that want to celebrate her accolades. So this week, Taylor Swift, Don't Blame Me, re-entered into the top 200 on the global Spotify charts at number 174, nearly 5 years after its release. Also, Taylor Swift's Invisible String has now sold over 1 million units, so it's another platinum album for Taylor, another platinum single for Taylor. Most streamed artists on the global Spotify list, May 18th. And there she is again. Taylor Swift was third behind Kendrick Lamar and San Benito. Right. Then we have Taylor Swift become the first female artist to sell over 2 million total album units in the U.S. in 2022. And everybody, if you listen to the Twitter, Stan Twitter, and these blogs and these YouTubers, they would make you believe that Doja Cat is the most successful artist right now, the most successful female pop artist. What artist is still doing this? This girl is releasing re-released music. And she's the first female artist to sell over 2 million total album units in 2022. Don't Blame Me earns its biggest streaming day of all time on Spotify with 797,000 streams, and that was 5 years after its release. Taylor Swift also on May 12th, she got only artist to sell over 200,000 pure albums in the U.S. in 2022 so far. And that has been Taylor Swift, Adele, The Beatles, still selling from the grave, to Stray Kids, The Weeknd, and BTS. And of course, the only artist to simultaneously top the Artist 100, Hot 100, and Billboard 200. And that is Adele, Ariana Grande. Of course, Taylor Swift is a part of that as well. Whew. This Love, Taylor's version, becomes the first version of the song to chart on the Hot 100, outpeaking the 2014 version. And of course, the Hot 100 entered at number 50, This Love, Taylor Swift. Folklore has now surpassed 3 billion streams on Spotify. Man, if y'all don't stand up and give Taylor Swift a round of applause, y'all are going to really understand what Taylor Swift is doing in this music industry. She has made this music industry her bitch. Tell me I'm lying. Shout out to T Swizzle. We'll come back next Thursday with some more on Taylor Swift. Gotta give her flowers, man, because what she's doing in the music industry, I think goes undetected a lot, because I guess you just get used to hearing how well Taylor's doing, right? So any recent tea about Taylor Swift is the whole Drake situation, the picture with Drake. And, I do hear that they have a record, but they had a record in the past as well. They had a record before, but that record never saw the light of day. So be expecting her. And if you refer back to in my previous videos, she will have more of a R&B hip-hop connection on this upcoming new album. No, it's not going to be full of R&B songs or what have you, but it's going to probably have one or two R&B/rap artists on the album. And I do expect, if she has any rapper, I expect it to either be Drake or maybe a Wiz Khalifa, on this new album. Also, there was rumors of her having a collaboration with Ariana Grande, so we also want to look out for that. So shout out to T Swizzle. I'm moving on to my girl Taylor Watson, aka Tay Money. And if you've been following me and my lives or on my page, I've been shouting out and bigging up Tay Money for years. All right, I've been into Tay Money ever since I saw Trapper's Delight. I believe Trapper's Delight came out in 2017 or 2018. And the one thing about Tay Money, if you don't know anything else, and that you would want to know as soon as you see it, with her being white, you're going to think immediately, is she legitimate? All right? So what I mean by legitimate is when you're especially a white rapper, right? Especially a white female rapper, because, we've had successful white male rappers. We've had MC Search, we've had Eminem, we've had Everlast. You know what I'm saying? So we've had, successful white rappers. But we haven't really had successful female white rappers. Iggy Azalea is probably the most successful female white rapper that we've had. Right? So you have to immediately get over, we've had way more gimmicks white girls than gimmick white men. So, when you see Tay Money, you got to get past the Krayshawn's of the world, the Little Debbies of the world, and even people like Whoa Vicky and Cash Me Outside Girl. So the first thing is Tay Money. She's from Dallas. She is now known as the Queen of Dallas, and her first song was called Trapper's Delight. And the moment I heard that song, I was like, wait a minute, who is this girl? And this is before I even knew she was white. This is how I know she was legit. Because I was like, oh man, the beat was crazy, and I loved the flow, and I loved her little accent and what have you. And that's another thing that differentiates her from Iggy Azalea. That is her voice. That accent she has is not a put-on accent. That's how she talks. If you look at all her interviews, she talks the same way. That is, so you never get the feel of culture appropriation the way you did with Iggy Azalea, because that's her real voice. And Iggy's talks in Australian accent, but then you don't hear the Australian accent when she's rapping, right? So Tay is 29 years old now. She just signed recently with Geffen Interscope Records, and that's after, 6 years. Well, not 6 years, 2017. That was actually after 4.5 years of basically funding her own music. All right, she did her own music. She did her own producing. She paid for her producers. She did her own music videos. All right, she released her debut mixtape, Hurricane Tay, in 2019, and of course she released her single Bussin', which became a viral sensation. She also did a remix with Sweetie on Bussin'. She was out there doing her thing, getting her money, in Dallas, becoming real known in Dallas and abroad. Other rappers started noticing her. She ended up doing a collaboration with The Baby. She ended up doing a collaboration with Lotto. You guys' favorite, Saucy Santana. And of course she had the remix of Bustin' with Sweetie. So a lot of people, have started to take notice now because they realized they were probably sitting, from what I gather, they were sitting back realizing, okay, let me see if after people aren't really gravitating to her, let's see after 2 years whether this white girl give up. If she gives up in 2 years, we'll know she wasn't serious. But she didn't do that. She faced all of the issues of being a white rapper, right, and being from Dallas and not from a poor neighborhood or what have you. She faced all that backlash and she overcame it. And she pressed her own self, she pressed up her own music until finally Interscope said, okay, we've seen enough. We got to put some money behind this girl. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I wish Tay Money would have stayed independent, but I get it. There's nothing like the push of a label. But I just don't want her. I've always been proud of her for she hasn't done any surgery. She haven't touched her body, and she does a lot of twerking. She does a lot of twerking and ass moving on the stage. But she's always, all her fans are like, just stay natural, please. And a lot of times when you get with these labels, they want you to, touch your body to enhance it. So we're just hoping she doesn't do that. When I predicted in 2020 she was going to have a big year, that's exactly what happened. She came out and her song that went viral on TikTok was Assignment. I understood the assignment. Duh. I understood the assignment. So that video really went viral. All right. And so she is, and then she just recently, Snoop Dogg bought her out in Miami. So I'm hearing that she might go on tour, this upcoming year with Mulatto. And whoever's on the Mulatto tour, if Mulatto is on tour with a bigger name, I'm hearing that Mulatto might bring Tay Money, on tour with them. So that would be Tay Money, put in, of course, Lotto, if it's not her tour, she can't make her the opening act. But she can bring her, out on her set. So I'm hearing that might happen. And I just say go check her out. Like, before you make any decisions, I would say close your eyes and play her music, because her music is feel-good music. She's actually been my favorite female rapper like the last couple of years, because all her music feels good. You can dance to it. You get happy to it. She's not filled with drama. She did recently in an interview say she would love to do a interview with a collaboration with Nicki Minaj. And she did say, a lot of people was guessing. She said she got a phone call. She said, but I'm not going to say who the phone call was from. She said, but, and then somebody said Fabio, and she just got quiet and was smiling. So people are starting to take notice to her now. Check her out. Tay Money, for all the Tay Money fans, this is for you. And we're going to see y'all on next one. It's the Cardi Party on Friday. So we'll see you then on our Artist Spotlight. And this is Heaven Hollywood. See you next time.
Whoa! What? Kick them out the door, ladies and go home. Go Open up the door, let it slide. We take the gun, we'll miss you on my session.